All right, here we are back at Revonomics, and this is episode I still have no fucking idea. And joining me today, Rafa, my boy from down the street, literally.
No doubt, no doubt.
Men of War podcast founder / host every single week.
Sir.
You interview crazy people that tell you why masculinity is dying and how we can revive it. Is that?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
And we had some good conversations on your podcast.
Yeah, we had excellent conversations for sure.
So, you know, we have a lot to talk about today, and we can kind of start talking about young men in America. I have this theory. You tell me if I'm right or wrong. If people fucked more, we would have less masculinity issues.
I'm with you.
Not jerking off, meaning like if they, like, I don't care. It's a stripper, a hooker, a wife. Like if they fucked more, had more sex, we would
Without
have
a doubt,
significantly less issues. Like
the more you fuck, the higher your testosterone level goes. That's a known fact.
Okay, so I'm not crazy when I say this. Like I'm like there would be less wars. The wars would be fought better. People would be more like balanced in their masculinity, and it would be a better game.
That's right.
So how do we fix it?
Well, the problem is this, most young men now, they're fixed into video games and they have this low level of testosterone. They're flicking around their videos, and their phones all day long. They're in video games and they're going through these cell phones and they're looking at tits and ass. Here, tits and ass. So by the time you scroll, the entire 10 or 15 minutes, you get sedated, man. You get to the point where now it's like no woman looks good to you anymore. It's kind of like it has to be, their mindset becomes aggressive. A woman has to be unique and different.
So you're arguing that because people look on either on social media or on their phone, whatever, you're arguing that men are becoming more selective?
No, what I'm saying is, so they're being, I hate to say the word selective, it's weirder. Okay, that's the word.
But if you put a hole in front of a guy, he's gonna fuck it. Like, I mean, most guys, unless they have options.
PJ,
unless they have options.
That's exactly right. That's the problem, that we think that most young men nowadays are not fuck bunnies. They have very low testosterone.
Yeah, that I know. I've noticed that. Yeah. When I talk about fucking 3 times a day to people, they
don't get it.
Be a fucking mind. Like it's like that's not even possible for me. Yeah.
No, they don't get it. So guys that are in their 30s and 40s, maybe 50s, get it a little bit more. But guys that are in their 20s and 30s, low 30s, they're not understanding that, right? Like me and you see that. Like fucking is part of what we are as men. That's how we build our testosterone. But going back to your question, is this. It's not that they're being more selective. Men want now women who have they're a little bit different. They're more unique. And I don't mean it in a positive way. I'm talking about weirder chicks. Like, so example, there was an article not too long ago, and I don't know where I read this, but guys now like women who are, and I hate to say this, but amputees is like a big turn on to them. And I've started looking at reading.
Is that a new fetish or something?
And I'm fucking thinking, so I'm thinking, and you know what? I want to know where I read this, because I'm thinking it's such a new, they're so bored of seeing the chicks with bikinis and thongs and their ass. I mean, you get to the point where you're so sedated. Like before in the old days for me, when I was in the beach or whatever, I mean, you looked at a woman, as a young man and you're like, damn, it's a beautiful body. You're attracted to it. You go hunting. But nowadays, men just don't have that. They're leaning, once they're so sedated in their normal functions of every day, scrolling through Instagram and seeing 1,000 pretty girls, now they start moving towards a weirder projection. They're looking for something weirder.
Okay, so nothing wrong with the no leg gang if you're out there looking for but the only reason a guy would
I'm not saying
but the only reason a guy would go for that
this, by the way. Please don't.
But the only reason a guy would go for a woman without legs is because they can't run away. That would be the only reason that it would make sense. It's like, you're so ugly or fat that the girl can't get anywhere, so she has to talk to you. She's stuck there,
That's so funny. Oh, Lord.
So, unpopular opinion, Christianity could be the reason why men fuck less. True or false?
Yes, I would say there is.
Oh,
There is
wow.
an
Look at that.
extent.
You're being controversial. I like it.
And I'm being a Christian man, and I'm God is my savior. I believe I'm a very Christian man, but I do also agree with yes. I believe that Christian young men, there's nothing wrong with holding out and being a virgin. Okay,
Absolutely.
there's
100%
nothing wrong with that. However, there is something in Christianity at times that it tries to almost look for the perfect person, being with the right person at the right time, and then obviously consecrating and having sex, and only if you're married, only if specific criteria.
It indirectly shames practice, basically.
Right.
I mean, like
So-
it shames this idea of that you could be fucking girls,
Yes.
and this
Yes.
is negative and terrible, and you're going to
Yes.
be punished for this. And
Yes.
and I've always argued, and one of the reasons I love having conversations with you is because we both can be very set in our ways of thinking,
Mm-hmm.
but still subjectively reanalyze our own thought and not say
right.
there's no such thing as absolute truth in life. So it's nice to be able to converse and debate about things that are subjective. There's multiple views and perspectives on a topic, and that's why I enjoy like having you on and having conversations like this. So
Thank you.
If we agree that there are so many societal norms that have kind of created this very imbalance of masculine and feminine energy in the world, right? There's one side of we haven't helped guys rise, right? Like we haven't helped young men become better.
That's right.
We've empowered women for 20 fucking years to like be leaders and shit, and we basically told women, hey, like you're gonna have masculine energy, and that's what we're gonna infuse a ton of that shit to you, and you're like go-getters, and you're gonna step up, and you're gonna control your lives. You don't need men and everything.
Right.
But we never gave more masculine energy to men. Instead, we gave them the counteract of feminine energy
Well, that's a
by
fact.
making them weak, right?
Yeah, that's a fact. I mean, you look across the board and you're seeing that just men in general, we can take a scope as, look, women have been empowered for years, okay? But right now, men are just they're not getting that empowerment. It's almost to the point where they're looked down upon. Society, strikes men down. You look at movies, it's always the guy getting his ass kicked. I mean, how many times, have you looked at these, watched these movies and the woman is a superhero and the guy's getting his ass kicked by everybody else, but yet the woman steps in and then she starts fighting and she wins the fight. That's what they're trying to feed the public, right? That women are stronger than men physically, that can kick ass, and then men are the little dweebs in the corner. That's a bunch of bullshit. Historically, we can go back thousands of years. Men have built this planet in every way, shape, or form. Not women, men have. And from a perspective of really building something, when women go out there and attempt to build, they shit the bed across the board. They've shit the bed across the board. Women they're not made to build. And I'm not saying a woman can't be in a good leadership position, but I will tell you this, that for the most part, the best leaders of our time have been men.
So we know that biology makes some, obviously, men great at certain things and women at other things. It's an unpopular thing to say that women are better support roles than they are lead roles in a lot of things, because it ruffles a lot of feathers, because women are like, well, I'm a leader too. Now, we're not saying there aren't exceptions to women that are overly masculine, but we're saying that the general population, if we go on sheer numbers, women are generally more meant to support than to lead in certain roles. Like they don't really want to be army generals and shit. Like generally, like meaning like for the masses, if you do the numbers. So why do you think as a society we focus so much on giving so much voice to the exception rather than the rule? Like look at the same shit with the gay people, the transgender people. Like there's nothing wrong with people being gay. Like they want to be gay, let them be gay at home, right? Why do we need to mainstream this shit? Why do we need to mainstream transgenderism into schools and shit? Like why do we care? Does that make sense? Like it's like such a small population. It's like less than 1%. Like it's rarer to find a trans person than a Lamborghini owner, right? And if you live in bumfuck nowhere, Alabama, like there's, like I don't understand, like what the fuck? So like, why are we building, from your perspective, like so much narratives and so much news and so much attention to something that is so minuscule in nature to the general population. Like there's a war on culture in this country.
Absolutely.
But over a conversation that's meant to be had in private with 1% of the population, right? So you have 99% of the population is like, I don't even give a shit about this. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, it's not even relevant. Like,
that's right.
So why do you feel like there's such a push? Like, there is no way on fucking earth that the transgender population or gay population is the richest population in the world, and they're pouring so much money in politics that this is becoming the single conversation. Like, why do we care so much? Like, why is this such a divided? Like, people can be gay at home, but why do gay people want to be recognized in public? Like, why does that matter? You know, you can hold hands in public. Like, no one gives a shit. No one's punching you. So like, why do you need a title at home? You know, like, I don't understand. Like,
it's twofold. First of all, it's the loudest minority. They they scream, kick, yell. You know, they make the loudest bang. Number one. Number two, it's the victim mentality. It's almost like, well, we're being suppressed. You know, people want to bring us down. They don't want to give us an opportunity to live our life.
But why is that bad? You're the exception. Every time you build a business, everyone wants to bring you down. Right. So you're the exception. You're trying to become the Steve Jobs. It ain't going to work.
So they try to fight. They try to stand up and fight for what they believe is, you know, their purpose. Now, the other side of the house, why do people make a big stink out of it? And I'm telling you right now, the reason why people make a big stink of it is, I believe with everything in me, it's because of that victim mentality. The United States specifically of America loves to be victims. They love martyrs. They love people who are the underdog, the fighter. I mean, just look now. I mean, look at the, what's his name? Bad Bunny going on stage in the Super Bowl. What?
Well, half the people don't even know Puerto Rico is part of America. Like,
I agree. I agree.
That's a question of knowledge and history and using the internet.
Yeah, but this dude is really weird. Have you seen his music? I mean, his music, some songs have been okay at the early days, but he's like wearing dresses and doing this, and they're trying to make this all okay. Like, it's okay to sit around and wear dresses and put lipstick on, man. Listen, you can do that in your home, but don't try to put it on my TV teaching my kids when they're watching something that it's okay. I got a big problem with that. And so I just think overall, specifically, there are pockets of people, different states, different areas that push this martyr victim mentality in a way to try to, I guess, empower these minorities, which really are the exception to the rule.
Yeah, but no one's trying to empower like Mexican landscapers. Why do they give a shit about this minority? like no one out there's got a course on how to become a better landscaper in America. I don't understand.
True that.
Right? Like they're more concerned about that guy, and they're throwing his ass out with ice, you know, because he's sitting here having a normal Christian family doing his shit and being your landscaper, now his tractor's empty. Yeah. But then the other guys that are fucking up your entire culture, they're like, oh yeah, like that's just part of the conversation. So.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's the mentality that we have in this country in some pockets, and they force it. But I will say this: it's usually those pockets. When I say they're specific pockets, it's a big money pockets where they like the NFL, the NBA, big sporting events. They have a choice whether to be a little bit more conservative and normal, or just go out there and put things on the table like they normally do. Right now, you look at the NBA. The NBA is a joke, man. It's a joke.
Bro, I have thought from the beginning of time that like the NBA was a joke. We hired a bunch of guys to throw balls in hoops. That's a different conversation. different time. And we're paying them $200 billion.
Yeah, some dudes make a lot of money. That's for sure.
I'd rather pay doctors and like even army people over like a guy trying to. But I understand entertainment. We're in America. We're in capitalist society, so this is a whole different. We have to have entertainment to some extent, and people find that entertaining.
I agree.
Let's switch gears for a second to one of my favorite people to talk about in the world, Tai Lopez. So Tai Lopez has recently been, I believe, indicted for like 110 million or 112 million, whatever Ponzi scheme he was running. You ever interacted with the guy?
I personally never interacted. I went to an event, and there were people that knew him very, very closely at that.
This was recently, or
recently? Yeah, just a couple of months ago. Before this
before the fiasco.
Before the fiasco, yeah. And it's people had been saying that he had been a little bit nervous. I don't know if he knew this was coming.
You usually know because you get inquiries before it becomes you get asked for documents, inquiries. You get a warning, a slap on the wrist. And he's had multiple warnings before too in his programming because originally the SEC sent him, he used to not have any disclaimers, nothing. And now every video on there says Tai's not an investor. Like you invested your own.
Right.
Whatever.
SEC is very, very specific, coming from that
But they've
world
had their
of
eyes on
finance.
his ass for a long time.
Yeah.
They've looked at him for a long time because he got him very popular with the mainstream. And when he started hawking investments and, give me money to invest in these things.
Well, the whole thing was him getting Radio Shack. What other, did he have
like
another?
Pier 1
Pier
and
1,
some of these other
right.
like models, clothing stores. So the basic, in my opinion, the giant fucking scam, which didn't make any sense. This dude's a marketer. I've interviewed him 3 times. So, and all 3 times I never aired the interview because it was bullshit after bullshit after bullshit. This was back in the day, like in 2008 to 2015. The problem with Tai is he spent a lot of his time convincing people he's not a marketer. And like he's a business entrepreneur, like all this shit. He's a fucking marketer. He's like an affiliate marketer. He had this dating site thing scam going on back in the day with fake profiles and shit. He's a marketer. He knows how to market shit and get attention and stuff. And he's very good at it. Congratulations for that. But he's always tried to establish himself as an entrepreneur, I think. And this has been one of the reasons back in the day when I used to do interviews at Secret Entourage, it was like, every time we spoke, I was like, it's just not an interesting interview because you're quoting other people's books and shit. You're not talking about the meat and butter of like what you're really good at, the meat and potatoes, right? So that tells you I can't cook worth shit because meat and butter. I'm like, what the fuck? Who does that? It's like retarded. But so the whole point is, like, if you're out there having a story, right, and then you're out to prove that story is true, that's what I saw when they started thinking about buying all these brands that were dying, et cetera.
Yes.
And then what they were talking about, they were like, we're going to do this blockchain thing with Radio Shack, and we're going to do this other thing with Pierce One. And in my head, I'm like, that's not how business works. You don't need to buy a brand like Radio Shack to change it to something in crypto. That's not how you don't buy the brand. Then it's not what it's associated with.
Yeah, but he was very straightforward about it.
Yeah.
He was very like, just this is what we want to do.
Yes, but it didn't make sense. And here's the problem: is when you have a lifestyle business, which marketing is a lifestyle business. Like there is a real need to use tools, right? Like so. Right. There are different levels of that, right? You don't have to travel private everywhere, but it could be a marketing tool to be like, look, I'm successful. You should come when we have enough money, right? So that's a market, like he's a marketer. So when you blur the lines of a marketer with people saying like, hey, come and invest with me in these things, and maybe there's a legitimate, I'm trying to make it work. I have an idea, and not every idea works. There are plenty of people have invested in ideas that didn't work, and they failed dramatically, and it was terrible, right? It was awful.
Of course.
But there's also the other side of it, that when you're blurring the lines between all these things, and you're taking the money there, saying that, well, I need to rent this mansion, or I need to do this to bring on more investors, to continue my idea, but you're not being transparent about how you're spending the money. And then people realize you're not doing anything, so they're not giving you any more money. Well, that's how it turns into a Ponzi scheme. You're like, I used the money originally to get more money, and I got my marketing thing because I'm a good marketer. Right. And then eventually I ain't got no more money left, so no one's paying anyone for anyone else. So it's like, well, you're kind of fucked. But the argument is, if you weren't taking this shit seriously to begin with, meaning if you weren't looking at investor money, I think these new age entrepreneur guys, because I've been around on the internet just almost as long as Tai. And I can tell you that these new age guys, they're so into themselves and their own bullshit following and everything that they sometimes don't realize that the rules of business still apply. Like they kind of lose themselves in this line between reality and fantasy. And they're like, as long as I have money to continue this fantasy, like the money will come from somewhere else. And they blur these lines, and they're like, well, yeah, I'll eventually make you whole. I'll eventually make you. Like I'm not intending to defraud you. And then, but people don't think that way. Like it's like they write contracts and they go, well, it's optional.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like I've had stuff like this too. Like when podcasts started becoming popular, like a couple of years ago, we paid for someone was like, hey, if you pay me this, I'll get you on the show, whatever. And it was like, cool. Like I was like, here's the payment. And then it was like, oh, well, you're supposed to air on the show. He didn't feel like doing it today. And it's like, oh, but I already traveled there. And then it's like, oh, but now like, it's like, he'll do it next month. Oh, next month. And then you're chasing the guy and you're like, bro, like, do you read your own fucking contract? Like you have a contract that says it has to be done by this date. Like, why am I the only one chasing this? Like,
Right.
And why do you have this feeling that you don't have to pay back the money you took if you can't deliver on what you did? And I think these young guys, they're just like trying to keep up with this idea of like the lifestyle they create around themselves because they're around the rich people.
That's a great point.
They're around rich people,
yes.
and they're like these facilitators of things, but they don't realize they're not rich.
Yes.
You know, like they're not rich at that level to do that shit.
That's right.
Right? Like so to fly a charter like private every fucking day, everywhere you go, internationally or not. I mean, you need to be making like over $2 to $3 million a month every fucking month post tax. You know,
Without a doubt.
And when you think that because you had a couple of really good months or you have some huge cash reserves, you're doing that over and over and over, at some point it's going to fucking catch up to you.
Agree.
And when it does, the cost is like fucking astronomical, you know, and the bodies are like along the way, you know, all the people.
You start burning people across the board. Yeah.
Exactly. And eventually the shit comes coming down. But I think because they get away with it for so long, because he did this shit with his other dating sites and stuff like that, and he gets away with the slaps, they think all the slaps are tiny.
Yeah.
You know, until they get hit with a big one and then they're fucked.
You know, you mentioned something, having him on a few times and never releasing the podcast. So I had a podcast with him. I interviewed him. It was the only podcast that anyone has made me sign something prior saying, hey, listen, you cannot release this podcast unless, you know, I've watched it and I've cleared it and so on. And to this day, this was about 2 years ago when he came back on scene. To this day, nothing. No, like we sent,
they never like responded.
He never responded. Never anything. My team went, "Hey, what's going on? We want to release it." Nothing. It was a very weird.
But these are red flags in business. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. These are red flags in business. And if I'm pretty sure, and I don't know him personally that well to know all of his associates, friends, etc.
I mean, he was a nice enough guy when I met him in the podcast and all that, but it, you know, there was a weird, weird thing,
but it's
man.
always like that. It's always that red flag that leads to, if you look deep enough, which you don't give a shit to look deep enough, but if you do look deep enough, you'll probably find hundreds of them. And then you'll be like, well, that was pretty fucking obvious, you know, once you go down that road. So it's pretty sad. Anyways, one last thing we got to talk about real quick is cars. What do you drive now?
You let that up. Oh,
what do you
yeah.
drive now?
All right, listen. You should.
Please don't say a Tesla.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
All right.
I want to make sure your penis doesn't turn into a vagina all of a sudden. Okay.
So my daily is a GT3 Touring. Love the car.
That's a nice car.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
That's a respectable car.
Yeah. You know, I also have an Urus, a Lambo Urus, but that I drive. You know, it's a very comfortable car. All nice, matted out. I love the color. I love the way that car looks overall. And I also have a Rolls-Royce Spectre, which I bought a few months ago. Now, you shitted on that car.
I hate that fucking car.
Okay.
I love the Rolls-Royce brand.
I'm like, wait a minute, man. This car. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to disagree with you on this car.
Yeah, we can. That's the whole point of this podcast.
Without a doubt. You know, I think that Rolls-Royce, the idea of any engine, the Rolls-Royce, make it as quiet as possible.
100%. You don't need to hear anything. Yeah.
No, so this car, first of all, the looks on it, I was like, damn, man. When I saw this car, I was like, holy shit. Like, just the looks of it, I loved it.
Those cars modded are some of the prettiest cars anywhere. Wheels, drop, a kit.
Yeah,
it's
beautiful.
It's a good looking car. 100%.
And I'm going to ask you to hook me up a good place that I want to put wheels on.
But I agree with that. I think it's a beautiful car. I never debated the beauty of the Spectre. The problem for me is I had one for a week. I ordered one. I had one. And it didn't hit as a $550,000 car. Like when it came out.
That's exactly my sticker right there.
Right. So most of them end up between $500 and $600 because I spec'd one. I was going to buy one. I was going to buy a pink one. And I thought, okay, the Wraith was a $400K car, you know, it was new, and this is $150K more. I agreed with the idea that if I was going to be one car that's electric, it was going to be that one, meaning like there's no noise anyways. Yeah. But the interior was cheap plastic. It didn't match the level of a Phantom, but it was asking the money of a Phantom.
Sure.
And the gauges were all digital. They were losing their appeal to me from a like classical mechanical standpoint. The same way that you don't see digital Rolexes, right? Like that look like G-Shocks. Like it loses its appeal, even though it's more accurate. It doesn't matter, you know? So all of these things are little things that in the driving experience, what I look like. So I was never a Wraith fan, like the Wraith, and I loved the Dawn. I thought the Dawn was a great car. The Wraith, I was like, it has some cool features, whatever, but I was like, but the craftsmanship of Rolls-Royce has always been around the touch, the feel for the materials, the leather, the feel. And all I saw was a two-door Ghost with no engine, you know, basically an electric version. And I didn't see anything that put it or made it significantly better than a 400K version. So I thought to myself, and I was like, they developed this thing, and maybe it's a great design platform, like it's a beautiful looking car. But I just didn't get it. And the pedal feel was so non-mechanical in feel. It was so electric in feel because it's got all that power and that hybrid, you know, like the motor being electric. It felt very Tesla-ish. And so in my eyes, it was like, it wasn't even about like, it's not hot. I got so many thumbs up when I drove that car. It was brand new at the time. Nobody had seen it. You know, I drove it around. And it was in the ugliest fucking purple too. Some black guy spec'd it. It was terrible.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was fucking terrible. Like, it's like out of the NBA or some shit. Like, the shit you would look at and be like, why the fuck do you pick those two colors? They're fucking ugly as shit. You know, like, I don't even know why they would use this as a demo. Especially because it was from Palm Beach, and Palm Beach is like very bougie. You know, like Palm Beach Island and all the white people. And I'm like, why the fuck would you make this purple? But anyways, yet tons of people were like, thumbs up, great looking car, whatever, like super cool. But I just didn't see it. And you know, like I see this in a lot of companies across the board I see them trying to tap in electric. I see them trying because of all the mandates and the things they were forced to do. But I also see them failing. Like the Macan was a failed product. The Taycan was a failed product. The Tesla is a failed product, in my opinion. But the difference between a Taycan, a Tesla, and a Spectre is that the Tesla is only supposed to be better than your Kia. Like, meaning, like, you're not buying a Tesla to replace your Ferrari or Rolls-Royce. Like, you're doing it as this is my daily driver, it's a Nissan, and now I have this instead, and it's better, and it's got tech and whatever I'm happy with. So the standard of raising above what you have now is very easy. It's like, you gave me some tech, oh, there's some wood. I didn't even have wood in my old car, I had plastic. Okay, this looks cool. So you have that, and it's a simplistic design that works. But then when you look at the Taycan, you're like, well, you have a Panamera, so now you have a choice. You have a much nicer looking combustion engine, or you have this super futuristic cool car, but that's what it competes with. It's the same customer, because like 150, which one do you want to buy? So that's a different dynamic now. You have to provide more value because you're taking away the mechanical aspect of it. And I think that's why the Taycan was 50% of its MSRP within 2 years. And if you look at Rolls-Royce, that's the problem.
So your argument, you think that the inside or so to be in all transparency, this is my first Rolls,
and that's why I think it's exciting.
So I wouldn't know how to compare it with another Rolls. I do know that it's fucking legit inside to me.
And like, for you, the Rolls-Royce experience. Is significantly better than the average Mercedes experience or some of these other cars. Yes.
Without a doubt.
But for a Rolls-Royce owner who's only had Rollses for the last 15 years, you know, I've owned every single Rolls brand like multiple times, and I'm a big fan of it. I look at that as a huge letdown for what the car was supposed to do, which was supposed to replace one of the best-selling Rolls of all time, the Wraith. So I saw that as a huge no. But again, it's the same concept as if you come from a Kia into a Tesla, you're impressed and you think it's a great car. If you come from no Rolls into a Rolls, I don't care, it's old, new, you're impressed.
Sure.
So clearly, you know, it's going to leave a much more lasting impression on someone who's discovering a Rolls through the Spectre than someone who's...
So with that said, let me ask you a question while we're in... do you believe that Rolls-Royce will go electric full bore over the next 5 years?
No.
You don't think so?
No, I think they'd be stupid too. I think the idea of electric Rollses take away, just the idea of electric cars take away from the mechanical art component. Like it's an art to make an engine that's a V12 quiet. It's an art.
Oh, I agree.
Okay. It's not an art to put a vacuum cleaner in a car and basically say, oh, with this little computer, I can make it add an extra 100 horsepower. When technology is involved at that level, it devalues the actual concept in itself.
And I would not disagree with you because I'm not an EV guy in any way, shape, or form. Don't even misunderstand me.
Yes, sir.
Like you at the beginning, I'm thinking, if I'm going to go EV at all, I'm going to go with Rolls-Royce out of any car. I'm not going to drive a piece of shit Tesla or just not going to happen. So, I do, I've driven electric cars.
Just to be clear, for all Tesla drivers, you're still gay. Okay. Going back, go ahead. Sorry.
Me and you see eye to eye there for sure. It's more of a situation for me. I am first time Rolls-Royce guy. The experience to me is phenomenal. I think that it is the way that the car drives when you hit it and you go, man, it's just an amazing feeling. I love the way it looks. I love the way the doors open. It's just a good feeling. And I bought it, I feel like at a pretty reasonable price considering what the MSRP was. I think I bought it with 2,000 miles on it. So.
And this is also the other thing proving my point. It depreciates faster than any other Rolls-Royce.
Oh, shit. It depreciated, what, 100 and... like $100 and something thousand.
Today, I can buy a brand new Spectre, 0 miles, 200K off MSRP.
Yeah.
200, which means that it's a 350K car.
Yeah.
And the argument is that if it was a 350K car,
okay,
then it would be a decent car.
Okay, but between 3 and 300, I mean,
it's a lot of car for the value. You don't have what you get, but it's not a 500K car.
Okay.
And
I agree.
And the market agrees, since it obviously depreciates it.
Yep,
but we've never seen that speed of depreciation mass.
Even in the Cullinans and the
not the speed.
or
Not the speed.
Wraiths.
That's the thing. Yes, they do depreciate eventually. So
Yeah.
the only thing the market does to tell you how much demand enjoys the car or not is basically showing you the speed of depreciation. The depreciation always occurs. So it's like the Cullinan is always going to be a 200 to 300K car. It is not, the Cullinan is not a 500K car in that way. It's always going to depreciate there.
Yeah.
But how fast it does that is the difference between how much people want the car and keep buying it at different levels of dollar versus someone's like, we don't want this shit. And the market piles up and they go, we got to discount it because no one's buying it. So what's the dollar?
So you won't even be enticed in the new black badge Spectre.
No, because the feel of the car is just
the
not
electric
there. Right. But
thing.
if I gave you a Phantom for like a week, you'd never drive your Spectre again. And that's the argument. The argument is if you have the option, and here's the other argument, you can buy a Phantom used for like 400K.
Yeah.
310, 320. So you can have a used Phantom, which was 700K, 50% depreciated. Yes, it's a little bit older. It's a 19 versus 23, but it's still the newest Phantom. It's not like an old body Phantom.
Right.
It just doesn't have like stars in the headlights. But otherwise, that's it, basically. So I think there's a lot of opportunity. But a lot more to talk about cars. Let's take a break real quick, and then after we're back, we'll get into the full car discussion.
What if selling a watch could be as easy as a cup of coffee? Introducing Grailsy.com. A few pieces of information, a few high-quality images uploaded, bids and offers rolling in the next few days. A pleasant alert that your watch has now sold. A simple shipment to our authentication center. A simple and fast payment into your account. List your first watch for free at Grailsy.com.
All right, we are back, and Emil is back.
Hey, I'm here.
Where'd you go? Did you go visit Puerto Rico recently?
I'm not Puerto Rican.
Oh, okay. We keep going through this every third time.
I'm not Puerto Rican, like not even a little bit Puerto Rican. I'm Dominican.
Oh, that's
Okay, so Bad Bunny is not from the same place.
No,
Oh, okay.
he's
All right.
a citizen, and
is
I'm not. Well, I am, but
Okay, so you're still from the U.S.? No, you're not from the U.S.
yeah, I was born in New York, dude.
But I'm saying you were born here.
Yeah, I was born in the
Okay,
Bronx.
all right. Just making sure we're good with our geography and our capacity. Yeah.
Yeah, I was born in the Bronx. I'm a good one.
I don't know about the good one part. Definitely good that you're...
That's what they always say to me when they see me out in the street. You're one of the good ones.
Really?
I don't
No,
think
no.
Puerto Ricans and Dominicans want to be in the same.
Yeah, we're not the same. Not there's anything wrong with it. They're just Puerto Rican.
I heard the
And
Puerto
I'm
Ricans
not.
were dirty. Or which one is it?
They're just Puerto Rican.
and I have to be careful because my kids are half Puerto Rican. So.
Okay. Oh, you see, I knew you had some type of
Yeah,
Puerto
my
Rican.
children.
Okay, but
My children are Puerto Rican.
okay. So you see, I'm not crazy. I knew you came from somewhere.
Well,
I'm not
that's
that retarded.
debatable.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Debatable.
That's debatable.
Anyways, so what kind of car news do we have this week,
So,
Mr. Emil?
so Lamborghini wants to make this version of the Revi, the Revuelto.
Well, that's retarded.
Well, that was my first thought because I was like, that car's so big and it would look so funky as a.
It's not necessary.
Yeah, at all. Like,
Why the fuck do you want to remake this? It was great as is. Just put better seats in it and resell it again.
either they want to do the Revuelto and the Temerario.
Well, I mean, they would do a Temerario anyways.
smaller.
It's the small, like, little
But
rally.
a Revi, that's a huge car. It looked
Fucking
ridiculous.
retarded. I actually saw my...
You drove it, right? You had
I
it.
used to own one, yeah.
And what happened with the seats?
It's just hard. We took it on a rally for like 4 days, and my back was hurting after like 2 hours every time.
So you think that if they upgraded the seats on that would be a little bit
No,
better?
you know, I some people have argued because I had the comfort seats too, so I didn't even have the race seats. You know, like I
Oh,
had
and
the
that's
comfort
still-
seats,
and
and
that
it
was
still
still-
bothered me after a while. But I think just Lamborghini's like seating position. But it's weird. Like the Revuelto, I don't have that problem. Like I can drive it for like 2 hours and nothing. Like my back doesn't hurt. It's easy to get in and out of. But this car, for some reason, like after an hour in it, like the fucking middle of my back was like killing me. And maybe again, some people aren't fit for certain cars, meaning like some seats just don't fucking fuck with the back correctly. I don't know. It's just really weird. But that was it was a great car for rally. Just couldn't do the seats. Like just too rough.
Yeah. So, like, what do you feel about companies doing that? Like introducing all these.
I think that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing to do creative cars, like in low volume and do like the car or whatever.
Yeah.
They're notoriously known to be the uglier duckling of the.
Well, 'cause you have
it's
the-
not exciting like a Technica. Or
Not non-body colored fenders and all that.
But
nonsense.
it's what makes it usable.
Yeah.
Because around city it was so good. I would take it in the dirt. I would take it in when it rains. I would park it on a curb.
You don't have to
I didn't
front
care
lift
if they
it.
towed it. You know, the front got all fucked up full of rock
this
chips.
shit-
It
I
was
didn't give-
rugged, right?
Yeah, I
like
didn't
kind of
give-
like a Jeep, you know. But
Yeah, it didn't give a shit. And
It could
still
take
was
an
like-
ass whooping.
And it got so many compliments everywhere. Everyone was like, "Oh, it's a great rally car.
Yeah.
It's this, it's that." You know, so it was a cool car. But the Revuelto is such a beautiful fucking car.
Leave it alone. Like give
Yeah,
us an
it's
SVJ
great.
version and that's it.
and then that's it. I mean,
call it another
too
day.
bad they can't make a Roadster anymore. But if they did do a Roadster and a SVJ version of that, would have
That'd be sick. Well, I mean, I didn't like the Aventador Roadster to begin with. Like, I remember when they first came out in 2014, like they were notorious for leaking and like, they never sat right.
Well,
It was
bro, they were
ridiculous.
notorious for leaking. Even in 2020, my SVJ was leaking. Like,
They were
so-
terrible.
7 years later, still didn't figure out how to fucking make the car not
Like
leak.
you can't. They don't make rubber seals in Italy.
No, it's
I
like
heard
a
the-
bad whore. You can't bring
the
it back to
transmission
reality.
was
She
also
leaks.
all fucked up too. We have to, on first gear, you got to put it on like you got to.
Yeah, it was
you
a
gotta
single
some
clutch,
weird-
very like
Yeah, single
funky.
clutch.
Yeah.
Aggressive.
But
Aggressive.
they did improve it significantly with the SVJ. Significantly better than the
Yeah,
first.
and then the
single
Revi has the power assist.
Yeah,
for,
well, no, the Revi is a dual clutch. So it's just normal. I mean, I don't know if they call it a dual clutch now. They might call it some new tech, but it functions
it's
just
a
like a
dual clutch.
Huracan, similar to whatever.
Cool.
Yeah, so Sterrato, a cool car. Actually, I think they're undervalued now. If people are buying them for like 250, 280, you know, like
Oh, they went that
yeah,
low. They
went
were
like
at 300.
yeah,
not too
but
long
no,
ago.
they were asking 300, but they were trading hands 260, 275. Lots of car for that money. You know, a lot for that money. Like
There's a lot of cars.
it's a free car for like 10 years. You know, like
free
you're basically-
car.
for 10 years. Yeah. So a cool car nonetheless. What else we got?
We got Lotus. They're trying to bring back the.
Super gay.
Oh, but come on, dude. The
it
Esprit was
die.
the dopest car.
Let it die.
I drove one for like a month because
Yeah.
they gave me a client I was working for. I was like, here, you can drive it. It's awesome.
And
It
you
broke
have
down.
therefore the best experience because you don't have to deal with the repairs that came with it. Fucking piece of shit. Like
Yeah, I drove a V8 for like, it was
the
great.
Esprit V8.
Oh,
Like,
such a cool car. Cars, everything's really
Unnecessary.
cool.
Unnecessary.
I mean, I get it. Everyone, like you said.
The design wasn't iconic enough at the time to also be.
You don't think so?
Not for
In
today.
1998, whenever the hell it was out. It looked cool. It looked really cool.
It was just a very.
It wasn't an ugly car, but
No.
It's like the Lotus. What's that other go kart they built?
Elise.
The tiny one.
The
You know,
Elise,
like,
yeah.
okay, so that was
Or the
gay on a whole
Exige.
new level. Like this, like super fucking gay. But this was like useless. It's not that it was gay. It was good looking at the time. People talked about it. It was an exciting car, but it was a very niche car, and it wasn't something that was like.
broke down like a motherfucker.
Yeah, every fucking week. It's just terrible. So just a car that needs to die and take its place, like the Saleen S7. It just needs to die and take its place in history for what it was and fucking move on.
I feel you. I mean, I thought it was cool.
Some
but-
cars don't have that. need to come back. And also, this is probably going to be like $600-700 which fucking is useless. Some idiot will pay for it. And they'll claim it worked, and then they'll resell 50% off in the secondary market.
And you can hack it.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Hack
No,
it.
then you just take it, put it in the trash. À la poubelle, as they say.
À la poupée. All right. À la poupée. So we're getting a limited run Mercedes V12 sedan.
Yep.
680S. It's gonna have that beautiful olive green, hunter green thing top.
Unneeded also.
With insane, I forgot what the name of the paint was on the bottom.
Basically a V12 Maybach with a bunch of gold shit, which is
All the
useless.
emblems are actual 24 karat gold.
I know.
That's pretty cool.
But it's not necessary.
They're gonna get stolen like a motherfucker.
Exactly. It's not necessary.
Don't go to the mall. They're gonna take all your shit.
You got to keep seeing these guys. Like it's like Hollywood. They're fucking like running out of ideas. They're just making the same shit with new colors, and they're just basically like, oh, this is special edition.
That's actually
is
pretty cool.
Look, the Virgil car. They did a Virgil car.
Oh, yeah, Virgil Abloh car?
Like that was a nice looking car.
I thought
It's
it-
unique,
I liked
and
it.
it had a component of like, look, there's a Louis Vuitton designer type thing. Like this is. I mean, listen, this is nice.
It's nice, very nice. I mean,
You can buy this. I shit you not. I guarantee you, 5 years from now, that car's $150,000.
my thing is just like that. Before the Maybach was a different car. Like, don't get me wrong.
Exactly, and now it's not. Now it's just a Mercedes with extra seats and
Yeah,
shit.
it rode on an S-Class chassis.
Yeah.
But it was a different
car.
completely different car. You could not mistake it for an S-Class.
It was a competitor to Rolls.
Correct.
And
And
now
now
it's like
it's
a
just
high-end
an
Mercedes.
S-Class.
Yeah, it's a
Like,
high-end Mercedes.
you gotta, like,
with
peek
better
at it.
trim. This is as terrible as my Range Rover, because if you think about it, like that Range Rover is like $300,000,
Yeah.
and then used it's $100,000. And what I'm saying is, yet it's still almost new with 20,000 miles. So like what I'm saying is like this is the same thing with these fucking cars. They're basically S-Classes. S-Classes appreciate 50 cents over like 3 years, and they just
You have a
rot.
starting price for this, an MSRP?
like
They
400 something.
yeah, something
Oh, really?
absurd.
expensive.
Because the car starts at what, 3 and change?
You know, the only reason I actually asked myself, I was like, if people know,
That's crazy. 340 starting.
so if people know that they basically their car will depreciate 50 cents, why do they keep fucking buying them?
Because they haven't signed up for your course.
No, it's because they think they won't get one. It's like one of 50, so they feel like, oh, what if it never comes used? Or what if I can't get one? What if I
The
can't get the option?
attainability of it.
Right.
So they make so little of something, so people feel like they're buying something exclusive when really they're buying fucking colored S-Class.
Yeah, but we know better because like we hear things that are exclusive, like, oh, you'll never see this again. I was like, what are you talking about? I know 4 dudes that own that right now.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Well,
it's-
and that's because we're living in South Florida. Grand Theft Auto on crack. Don't forget.
we should touch on that one day, how this is not a real place.
Yes.
Do you
it's
agree?
not.
Say it again.
Do you agree? South Florida's not a real place?
Oh, it's a fake ass place.
But we're saying it's not even real. Like
There's
we're
not-
saying like that. There's nowhere else in America where things are like you said this to me when you came in the office. You're like, I just realized I drove in Miami and like everybody drove
Oh,
a
no.
car. Like
Yes, this is
it's like not normal. Like because
it's not normal. Anywhere here, even here in Boca, in this area, Fort Lauderdale, Boca, you
yeah,
know,
it's a lot of money. Like
So much money.
crazy.
it's just not like I'll get on YouTube and I'm telling people I'm like, oh, it's just a fucking $200K piece of shit, and they're like, what is wrong with you? Like, do you know like how hard it is to buy a $200K car? And I'm like, yeah, but I don't think you visited Miami. Like, this is the poverty car of Miami. Like, the Bentley is the Honda Civic of Boca Raton. You know, like people don't realize this.
That's right.
No,
They don't live here. They don't realize this. Living in like Alabama, even Texas, like has a lot of money. But like the way the density of money between Boca to Miami
it's insane.
is like on a
time.
whole other like playing field. Like
Big
people,
time.
like it's just
You
not
got you
normal.
got G wagons here, Urus here. I mean, over
Everybody
the last,
drives an Urus. Every mom drives
over
an
the
Urus,
last
yeah.
6 months here in Boca. I don't know, man, but I've seen every day that I go out on the road, I see one or two. It used to be where I saw one every.
Right, I
week
see one every hour.
two,
Like,
you know, it's crazy,
There's
man.
a car going somewhere every hour.
Ridiculous. Well, we went on that rally. You said on Saturday. We went on the rally. We were on the rally for 7 days, and we were the cool cars everywhere we went. I think
and we
saw
had
like,
the shittiest cars too.
and we had the shittiest one. I think we saw like 2 or 3 Bentleys. But then getting off the airplane from the airport to my house, and I live a 5-minute Uber ride from the airport. I saw 7 Bentleys. It's like it's not real.
It's a different place. So we say it's Grand Theft Auto on crack. Basically, people live 5 years.
I agree.
It's like the hookers, the money, the cars, and
It's like a free trial to richness.
yeah.
I agree.
Like when you get the AOL CD.
And you either
but-
get lost or you get killed or
go to
you
prison.
survive.
So I have a question here, though. So the person that's going to buy this car, and they have an option between this and the Ghost, okay? Just comparable, the 4-door. I mean, I don't know who in their right mind would buy this over a Ghost.
There are people. So I've learned this
know.
over the years teaching people how to buy cars. There is a group of people who are just mentally incapable of buying something used, even if that car has 30 miles on the odometer and was just driven from Mercedes onto John's resale shop and was like, hey, I just left it in the wrapper. I'm going to sell this. They will not buy a used car. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, there's a $50K discount today just because.
Doesn't matter.
Want to buy new.
They just do not understand that concept because they've been indoctrinated with this idea that something used has something wrong. So it's basically given to someone that doesn't want it. They don't understand there's a whole commerce around used things. There are women that will not wear used clothes, like even if it's brand new, right? Like someone bought a pair of brand new clothes that didn't fit them and they were like, yeah, I don't want this. Everybody wants to buy it at 50 off. They're like, no, like I won't put, and it's like, well, you try the same shit at the store. You think you're the only person that ever tried it on? It's like, no, but I will not, like under any circumstance. So it's the same thing. Like, so when you compare 350 or let's say 400K with options compared to a Ghost, you're not comparing 400 to a used Ghost at like 290 and you're like, why are you driving this? Instead, you're comparing it to a new Ghost, and new Ghost is 550. So in that segment, there's a buyer at 400 that feels they're saving 150K over a Rolls-Royce Ghost.
Sometimes there's also people that have just never been in a Rolls-Royce Ghost. Like you gotta a Mercedes at the end of the day, like
it's still very
attainable,
and it's still very also like low key, and they actually like the idea that nobody thinks they're rich. I don't know why we demonize money so much. But.
I don't know, but like the perfect example was remember the C63? That was the perfect example. Like if you didn't know it was a C63, it just looked like a Mercedes.
I mean, but I think it comes down to demonization more than anything. We talked about this earlier with masculinity. I feel like men are also afraid to thrive in excellence. Like if you're really talented and you drive a Rolls Royce, it's a status of that talent or that the money you accumulated, resources you've accumulated that other people cannot. But instead of like being proud of it, you're afraid that someone might judge you and feel you're excellent at what you do, and then feel differently about it. I've had this conversation with doctors who are like making like $2 million a year, and I'm like, why don't you drive something other than a Camry, like to work? Oh, well, what if people think I'm well, you don't think people think you're successful? Like when they see that your practice is booked 6 months in advance, you don't think that your staff sees how much money you're making when you're collecting credit cards at like $20,000 a surgery? Like I don't get the logic of now somehow because you have a Camry, they're not going to ask for a raise or
because it's like you're humble.
Yeah, but why do you care? Like, why wouldn't you want your employees to like want to like jerk you off from like, hey, listen, like you're amazingly successful. I love working for a successful guy. I'm going to be successful.
I want to
I'm
be
going to
that
make money.
I think some people punish themselves in a way where they feel like, listen, I can't go out there and be showy. I feel like, I've done my job. I put in my time, my effort. I'm working, I'm successful. But somehow, I just, I don't want to get to the level where I'm driving a Lamborghini.
I know, they have that
whatever,
imposter syndrome, even though they're already there. Like, even though they're at the money where it's like makes sense and they can afford it easily, they're just like, but yet you look at their house and live in a $10 million house and they don't have a problem justifying that. And I'm like, I don't understand the logic. Like, if someone looks at your house, well, they're not retarded. They can Zillow it and be like, this is fucking unaffordable.
But PJ, listen, there's also, the problem here is people do not understand about enjoying the finer things in life.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
The finer things in life. It may not be a Lamborghini to you. It may be a yacht. You may want to, you may collect art.
The money goes somewhere.
Right, the money goes wherever it flows. But these people are so just held back, and we go back into thinking that money is poison. It's a root of all evil. Come on, all right?
But I don't get it. Like I don't understand that. But I feel like that would solve a big part of masculinity too. If we helped more people step up, it would inspire more people to want to step up. And I mean, this is the exact opposite of the Me Too movement. Like, think about it. Like, the whole idea that the Me Too movement was like we empowered women to come forward, right? Like, and said, hey, anything that happened to you is automatically evil if it happened from a guy. Now, all these random people came out of woodworks like, there was a guy that came up to me and talked to me. Well, what the fuck else? He's supposed to fuck you. How is he going to do that? He's going to stick his dick out and put it in you and then ask a question?
That's right.
He's going to come try to pick you up. Did he make you uncomfortable? I didn't like the way he asked me out. Okay, well, did he try again after you said no? No, but I think that guy should go to jail. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, the whole point is the guy's supposed to fuck you. He's supposed to approach you and talk to you. So if you don't like him, you're going to say no. If he tries to attack you, sure. Like, throw him in jail for something or whatever. But if someone approached you, you don't like it, and you told him fuck off, then... And I think it's the same thing, the opposite circle. If you get more men to step up and be like, don't be afraid to be a man, even if that means there's a woman that might just be like, I'm uncomfortable that you asked me out. it's part of fucking life. Like, we just shouldn't punish the behavior of biology.
Yeah, don't be a creep, but
right. But even if you're a creep and you try, and you get told no, and then you go away, you're not a creep. You're just awkward. And what I'm saying is...
Oh, no, I meant the creep is the guy who comes back
like
and
if you keep coming back and you keep stalking, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
You need to get your ass kicked by another dude. Maybe from Puerto Rico, you know? Yeah.
Puerto Rico. But yeah. So, I mean... Yeah, but also you speak in the classes, there's a level of people that have never even sat inside of a new car.
Yeah.
Like a used car is all they've ever known. They've only ever known that Dodge 1500 that their grandfather gave them. So like I can completely understand coming from poor as well. Like I understand these things now because I'm in this world, but one different move and this is just a poster on my wall.
But we're jaded too, though. We look
Super
at life
jaded.
sometimes, and because we're in Florida, we normalize a Huracan. Or I mean, I do that shit all the time.
What?
200K car, whatever. You know?
Down here is not like seeing a Daytona is like that guy's got a Daytona,
Yeah,
nice
I know,
watch.
yeah.
But it's not like, oh my god,
But in
I've never seen
Philadelphia,
one.
everybody would kiss in your ass because you got a Daytona. Like, oh my
No, you'd be
god,
getting-
it's
you'd be getting
$20,000 watch.
robbed.
That's crazy.
So both of you, I got a question.
Here we go.
All right, sorry, this is my podcast.
No, do it.
Yeah, go
so
ahead.
with that said, like, yeah, we're in a place where affluence and influence is at a very high level here. You know, between Boca all the way, south to Miami. But the question really here is it? Do you guys see more? Are we pushing men to be more fake? Like, do they really have the backing, the money? Are they going out there and renting a Huracan to be, to build the status? Or is it that they're, going out here and rubbing shoulders with other people who are at a higher level, inspiring them and getting to that next level in life? What are your thoughts?
Success is contagious. It's always been the way. That's why we need to push more success on. And as long as real success is afraid to show itself because it's scared of being attacked or demonized, then fake success, because it wants real success, will step up and be like, hey, I'm rich, follow me. Don't, that guy. And as long as stupid fucking wealthy people keep saying shit like, oh, you keep shit to yourself when you're rich. You don't want to share anything with nobody because no one's going to teach nobody nothing if they're making a real money. Okay, as long as they say stupid shit like this, then fake money will be like, but I'm just being a nice guy and I'll teach you. And they don't have any money.
Sure.
So I think that human beings, like men, masculine energy organically competes, just how we're built. We want to compete with other men. That's why they always say you're the byproduct of 5 men you're closest to, right? If they're like superbly like fit, you'll be fit too. If they're superbly rich, you'll find new ways to be wealthier than you were before. So you'll elevate at the pace of which you're surrounded with. But I think what happens is when people aren't in those circles or allowed in those circles, then because they're around fake circles, they no longer compete, they compare.
Yeah.
So when they compare, now they want to fit in. When they want to fit in, they're buying fake anything. To be like, I'm part of this. So I have a Louis bag. I have a Rolex. And you're like, but you're not a man who can afford a Rolex. But but I have one. I want to be part of that circle. So now they're comparing, and that's very punishing. It's very expensive.
It's also, I think, goes back to what we said that Miami is not a real place. Like you said, is it this or is it that? Unfortunately, I think here it's both, because there are people that are legitimately making money, but then there are the goofballs who
compare and who are trying to keep up.
How many times you have a guy driving a $400,000 car and he pulls up to his shitty apartment, right? Or he's living with mama and dad.
I don't think that's so much, because at that point, if they're going to get the car, then they just get the apartment too. Like these guys.
I think that what happens
I don't know,
is
man.
cars
Miami,
are.
it's pretty.
But the difference is houses are foundational structurally, and cars are temporary states. So cars you get in and out of. Housing you can't. You have 12-month leases. You have to basically, in most cases, buy a really nice home. And you need down payment money and you need credit and things like that. And those are foundational components that quick money doesn't have. If people in Miami have a 5-year lifespan, meaning in that they survive before they die off and they're irrelevant, then they're not doing foundational things, but they can still rent like a hot penthouse and still have a $400K car. But it's all, so you can determine how wealthy someone is by how much they've invested in their foundational structure.
Right.
and how little they've invested, versus how little they've invested in it. So that's the main.
We talked about this a little bit ago, right? The guy that has the Apple Watch, the guy that drives a Tesla, and then looks at you and says, "Hey, man, I'm doing good. I have a Tesla that's faster than yours, or I have a piece of shit Corvette that I'm not a big Corvette fan. Sorry for that." But
you see, we found another one that
Can you
joined our
say that
cult.
right into that camera? Let them know how you feel about
We're
that.
gonna clip this. It's gonna come.
Super clippable.
I am not a Corvette.
You're gonna
fan
get the hate.
Yeah, that's not a supercar. That's trash. But either way, look, guys, I look at this and I say, a guy gets next to me, and a Tesla dude, and he's there looking, and I'm sure that happens to you guys all the time with your nice cars, and he wants to race you. He says, my car does 0 to 60 faster than your car. I can get the quarter mile. And it's that mentality of saying, you know what, I can buy this car for $40,000 or $50,000, and my Apple Watch does the same thing as your watch, tells the time. It's that weird mentality that is always in competition against those guys who are succeeding, who buy a timepiece, not just for the time. I don't even know what the fuck, this doesn't even say the right time, And
it's fake. So it's fake participation. That's all you're talking about. It's like basically participating in something and being given something that allows you to participate or fit into something that you're not necessarily a part of.
Yeah.
That's it. Like Apple Watches aren't sold to people who wear Pateks and RMs and Rolexes. Right. They're sold to people who don't wear watches, meaning like they have a reason to put something on their wrist. It's not a watch. It's like doing everything else but telling time. Your phone does that too. So it's not necessary. Eventually, things like that go to glasses. Like it's a technology item. It's not a status item. It's the same thing with the cars. Teslas are means of transportation. They're not. I understand they do that in a fast manner, so they have a novelty that makes poor people feel good about their. Like, what is autopilot? It's a novelty, because if you think about it, as soon as you stop looking at the road, the car goes, no, you can't do that. You can't be on your phone. So it's not self-driving. It's a novelty. So novelties in tech are like, when you have a CPU and a computer that's so advanced, but no one will use it, but you can say, I have the most advanced. It's a novelty, just like cars go. I got 1,000 horsepower, but in order to access it, you need this mode, that mode, this mode, and you'll never do that on the street, because by the time you even need it, you won't press 16 buttons to get the car ready. But you can say you got 1,000 horsepower car. It's pretty impressive. So it's a novelty, right? Like it's a novelty, like in itself. Like, and there's different levels of novelties. But I think that those people are given a false sense of participation in a world they don't belong in.
Sure.
And what I've always argued that's a problem with driving a Kia Stinger or a Corvette ZR1, instead of a Corvette. There's nothing wrong with a Corvette as a transitionary car from, I don't have a lot of money to have a sports car that's valuable. Later I'll have a Lamborghini or Ferrari. I might keep my Corvette, I might enjoy it, whatever. The problem when you keep making novelties like ZR1s and things and competing at that level, you're not really creating a Corvette anymore, because the price of a ZR1 is like Lamborghini money. So now you're creating a competitor. So what you do, though, is you give all the poor people that have regular Corvettes now no longer a reason to step up to Lamborghinis, because you're like, you see, you can have the same value here. Now, it's a good marketing play, because vanity and novelty hits vanity and people feel excited to be able to buy it. But generally speaking, the idea behind it, the idea is the same as the McDonald's entry-level job. You're not supposed to stay there. Even if it's very pleasant and you offer a great sign-on bonus for people to be there, they're not supposed to be there for the long term. And these cars just keep people attached to a brand. And that's actually what's forced other manufacturers like Porsche to create poverty cars. It's like, hey, we create heritage cars, but they're creating cars to come compete with our top cars. So we got to create cars to allow people to get in our brand earlier, so they can actually have 911s, because otherwise they get stuck there, because they'll keep giving them a more expensive product there instead of something here. So all these manufacturers have just basically gotten to a point where they're just looking for market share. And they're losing the essence of what, like, the car, the product, or what's supposed to be what. And they're trying to compete on all fronts with everybody as an automaker instead of a real race car maker, or, something, whatever they are, right? Like, so they sell more Macans and Cayennes than they sell 911s, and they make a lot more because there's more people that can afford them, right? So, and they can use them. So the Urus is the best-selling Lamborghini. Think about it. I mean, it's not what Lamborghini is, but it's still kind of part of it's like they have a whole plant dedicated to them. So
think about the fact that we're even saying that 20 years ago that was unheard of. Lamborghini makes an SUV. Yeah. Like when Porsche released the Cayenne, we were like, whoa.
But I think this goes back to the whole thing of they're putting screens in cars. You know, like how they're now putting so many large screens in cars. I don't know if you've seen this. Like Tesla's have few screens.
Yeah.
Like
Everything
Mercedes have your screens. You
Everything
know,
is
the whole
screens,
fucking
bro.
and the
dash
whole
is
dash is a screen. People
Yeah, too
and
much,
and
man.
it's too much. It's going to this part of trying to again compete with everybody else. You know, I think one thing I really love. Yeah, look at that. It's amazing.
That-
Porsche's like split screen, like the phone. But think about like every hypercar out there that's come up with a new car has come up with a bigger screen, more tech, etc. And then Bugatti was like, we're going back to mechanical with the tourbillon, and everything's mechanical, and there's a tiny screen that hides and then comes out. And I'm like, at least they get it. You see, that's what you were asking me earlier. Like, you really like Bugattis. I'm like, they understand that the art of driving is not so focused on a ton of tech, a ton of screens, and a ton of reflector stuff to keep you entertained. It's in the drive. It's in the gauges you're looking at. So those have to be more beautiful. That's also the problem I have with the Spectre. The same way
screens?
that everything becomes more and more and more like tech and less the drive and the feel, the touch. You know, so these little things start to add up. You know, like new BMWs don't sell because they're too electric-ish. Even if they're not electric, there's just too many things going on.
Well, I saw a photo of, I don't know, you guys probably don't look at the Genesis GV whatever 90.
I don't
It
even know
has
what that is,
it has like a 27-inch screen, so it goes literally from door to door. It's just one long
Yeah, it's just
panel.
awkward. I mean, Escalade did this too. You know, and on an SUV, I understand it when you're like entertaining your kids or you have passengers. Things like that are fine, but some of these like cars when they're supposed to be driver focused, like, I don't understand.
Well, the thing is, this Volkswagen released a memo last year that they're going back to buttons because there's no way to establish muscle memory with screens.
Yeah, it's
because things
terrible.
keep fucking moving.
it's just
So at least the AC button, you can close your eyes and like reach out and touch it. But here, like you hit air conditioning and everything changes. All the buttons go everywhere. So I completely understand. I don't think screens is where we need to go. Like, once again, like you said, it just distracts people.
I agree.
Especially for a society that lives in screens. So like I think a little analog wouldn't hurt anyone. Yeah, but I mean, it is what it is. They're gonna go wherever the market share dictates.
Yeah. Same bullshit as now Lamborghini getting into yachts.
So they're the Technomar, which is I thought it was freaking cool. Technomar is releasing an 101-foot yacht. It's got triple diesel engines. It makes 26 times. It makes 8,800 horsepower.
Damn.
It can sleep 8 people plus 3 crew cabins.
How much is it?
It's starting. It was something astro out of this world. I can't even.
Yeah, just like their fucking hypercars. They're fucking useless.
Well, the thing is like when what kind of money? Like I asked you on Saturday, like about the house. What kind of money buys this? Like, where do you have to
so
be?
the argument is not about what kind of money buys this. The argument is what else can you buy for that money. So when Lamborghini enters like water, right? It's not their forte. It costs more to build something on the water, and then they're hoping the branding brings more. But here's the argument: just because you're Lamborghini on the road, you're not Lamborghini on the water. Just because you have 2 models that say Lamborghini, meaning you're
right.
Lamborghini on the road because you compete with Ferrari and the likes, and you say we make better product. When you're Lamborghini on the water, they are better boats for way less money that do way better things. So they're the real Lamborghini of boats. So then when you come in and you're like, oh, my boat's like $7 million. And you go, well, cool. Well, you can buy these other fucking 3 boats that are way better. Do the same shit. Fine. No one's going to use 8,000 horsepower and go, like to get to
8,000 is a lot.
I mean, it just gets to a point where it's like, I'm just Lamborghini. I'm making these claims.
It's triple diesels. The engine is the size like a small car. But it's like, so my question was like, what kind of money do you need for this? Like, what?
For an $8 million boat? I mean, it depends on if you have a lot of cash versus your monthly burn rate. But I mean, if you look at just you don't even need to go that far. You take a $5 million boat, right? You're probably spending somewhere around like 600 to 800K to keep it, on the water, on the water, like a year between painting it, this, that, like little maintenance and bullshit after it's out of warranty. So it's not that much. I mean, it's like 50 grand on average, like a month. It's not terrible.
Is that the actual boat there?
Yeah, that's the render.
Yeah, they do a really good job with
Okay.
like crazy designs and shit. Like,
Because they have one already. They made
yeah,
it,
they have
right?
one.
They
It
make
doesn't
one-
have a roof and a like a room.
Brett has
that
one.
one's
Yeah,
like,
Brett has one.
like, that's one of
The current one is between 3 and 5. There's no price for this one, but they're saying this is bigger and more expensive. So
the
if
new
you said
like
8,
whatever, the bigger size with the rooms and shit under. Which is this is a better boat than the first one.
Yeah.
They had one that sank in Miami too, like
Jesus.
with the influencers on it.
you're not supposed to do that with your boat. Boats are supposed to stay above the water.
They're supposed to, but just like
It's Miami.
there's a lot of things that are supposed to do things that they don't do. Women are supposed to fuck, men are
Whoa.
supposed to make money. These are things. There's still not happening.
Jesus Christ, PJ. Christ Almighty, you always take it there.
What do you mean? I'm serious. Like
I know.
What?
I don't know much about yachts, but I'll tell you that, if I'm going to spend $10 million on a yacht, I might as well just have a captain. I'm not. This is not for the driving.
you'd still have a captain with this.
experience.
You don't pilot that yourself.
It's not like a.
But that's the argument again. Like, even if you're not driving it yourself, right? You're not really using your engines, and you're
No.
like, well, I'm not rushing to get somewhere. You're not like, and boats like this never make long-term huge trips, anyways. So, like, they don't.
I don't know many that have held on to a yacht for more than a few years outside of big companies that have the big yachts that they rent out and shit.
Yeah, but
you
isn't
know.
it just burning money? Like, there's no way to
No,
actually.
so
like,
there's depends where you live. That's
Okay.
the other thing. Like, one of the reasons I don't float is because for me in Boca, if I have to have a boat, it's not even the cost of the boat, but like not even it's even cheaper to dock it than in Miami. The problem is you have a 40-minute drive to the boat place.
Yeah.
Then on top of that, you have a 40-minute ride with the boat out to the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then there's nothing to fucking do other than sit in the ocean and jerk off. So like if you look at that versus if you're in Miami, you got hundreds of restaurants to go to that have docks.
Yep.
Everything's within, like you immediately are out. So within a 40-minute ride,
you can do a lot.
you have a great experience and then back. But for me, I would have to ride all the way out to Palm Beach or all the way
So it's
to
not
Miami.
practical.
Then it's like a 16-hour journey like for the day. And it's like, okay, I could have just driven there and it would have been fine. So it really depends where you are. Like if I lived in Miami, like if I lived in Sunny Isles or something, I would
it would make
100%
sense.
have a boat. Yeah, because you're right there. You jump in your marina. 30 minutes later, you're at lunch. What a great Sunday! Like had a great brunch.
Dude, living in Las Olas, so many dudes. They just like 1 in the afternoon. The boats are going through the bridge. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, went to have lunch.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like it has a cool factor to it. And you get a lot more pussy on a boat too. I've noticed
You can
that.
fit more pussy on a boat.
No, you can get a lot more. I mean, there are dudes, dude, that
you
are
can
like
stack them on top of each
but
other.
I'm just telling you, there are dudes that are getting like fucking like 20, 30 girls at a time, and they're recruiting 20, 30 girls at a time because of the fucking yacht.
So
It's the
60
biggest.
I thought there was like a limit to the yacht. I think it's 13
no, it
or
don't matter.
14.
Not tiny girls that are. You can double up 3 and you still ain't got no fat chicks on that boat. The nicer your boat, the less fat chicks are on the boat. So
It is the way to get laid in Miami. Do you have a boat?
yeah, exactly. Like it's like, oh, you drive a Lamborghini? Well, my
Have a
sugar
boat.
daddy's got a boat. It's a big ass boat. And then they're like talking about footers. You think it's cock size, and you're like, no, I got a 7-inch cock, and it's like, no, but he's got a 10-foot.
That's another thing that goes back to you were saying about the men and like the dating and all that. Like it gets really hard sometimes when you're like, I'm 6 feet tall. I'm not fat or not. But it's like, how do I compete with that guy's got a fucking Lambo boat?
Financial dominance, baby.
There's
It's
no
bigger than
competition.
strength
It's
these
like
days.
I may be taller than you, but if you stand on your wallet, you're so much taller than me. And
Without a doubt.
It's the Picsou effect, when you went and jumped in the sea of.
And then this last one, I love it because
All right.
I
Last one,
love
'cause we gotta get outta here.
what PJ's gonna do with this one. The nucleus theory from Doug DeMuro.
The nucleus theory.
So he says the GT4 is damn near the perfect car, and it's the nucleus of the perfect car. If you stray from the nucleus, you're just straying for a personal reason. So if you go to like the Carrera GT, you like it because it's opulent. So, but the nucleus is still what the GT4 gives you. The GT4 gives you the best of everything, supposedly at the best price. If you go to a GT2 RS,
but that theory is flawed because of what you just said. You said it gives you the best of everything at the best price, which means that the only reason it's the best of everything is because it has a price constraint limit and it's becoming more affordable. So
Well,
if
that's
you're
what that guy said.
if you're a simplistic man like Doug DeMuro, which we respect a lot, nice guy, good
nothing wrong
guy,
with that.
good, been in car business for a long time. But if you're a simplistic personality guy, then price is something that matters to you. So you feel like you're getting value from a GT4. If you're a flashy guy, then you think that the Courier GT or the GT3 RS, whatever, is a better weapon. Now, there's a reality that the timestamp that the Nürburgring will say what's a better car on a track, which has no question with money. It's like, who built a better car?
That's just who did it. That's why
SVG had $1 million, $300K car.
Was it the
at GT3 RS $300K car? Which one's doing it better? Doesn't matter. Like that doesn't make a difference. That's a time of like, this isn't about your personality. You like the color of the car or not. It's like, this is what it does. It's a purpose to race. This is what it is.
It is what it is.
As much as he's saying that, the fact that he's saying at a price, right? Like saying that the price is such a good value proves that, again, it has yet another tier of like
anything you choose outside of that realm says something about you that you have elected,
which is true, but also choosing something on price says something about you. And so if you're a cheap fuck and you're someone that just is a purist and you don't care for things and you don't care for anything but the way a car drives, sure, I'm sure there's a guy who justifies driving a Gunter for $1.3 million as a better bet than driving a $4 million Bugatti. I would argue these are different cars for different reasons. But there is a reality, which is the one that most people don't like hearing. A guy who can afford $1 million car cannot automatically afford a $4 million car.
Correct.
A guy can afford a $4 million car can automatically afford a $1.2 million car. So it's the same argument that if someone with a Ferrari loves a Corvette, I can respect that opinion. If someone with a Corvette, this is a Ferrari, I cannot accept that opinion because one does not have the means to that experience. The other one has the means to both experiences and yet says, I can see the value in each, but I'll choose.
Sense, man. Yeah.
But I choose that one, right? Yeah. But the bottom person does not have a choice. Yeah. So when you say like, I can buy a Senna and it's better than a Bug, well, do you have Bug money? No. So then it's irrelevant what you think about like the Bug. Right. You're not a customer for the Bug. You ain't got Bug money. Like,
where's your Bug? That's
where's yours? It just doesn't matter at that point. So like people have opinions about things that they don't have the means to experience, and they think that experiencing it for a day as I drove it and I drove the other one, I like the other one better. Well, first off, whenever you're biased towards something because you can afford it, you're going to find more value in it. That's just naturally what it is. Like, doesn't matter what it is. When you're a kid, you diss every car. When you get big boy money and you're trying to buy a car, suddenly the car you diss for 12 years is your dream car because you look at everything else, you're like, man, that car is so sick. Like, it's a different feeling when you can afford something versus when you can talk about it. Like, so many fat fucks are sitting at home right now, like looking, they're jerking off on YouTube and they're like, well, you know, the 0 to 60 time in this other car and the Revy versus the SF90. I'm like, none of you guys own any of this shit anyways. Like, why do you care? Like you fucking sit at home. Right. Like just keep Keyboard commenting on YouTube. That's it. Like, just fucking, that's where the end of the road is. But like, when they get like heated in these debates, like most of the people that get heated in his comments probably can't even afford a GT4 or a GT3 or a Corolla GT, so it don't fucking matter.
I like that. I didn't even pick this. It's just, but simply the car does not evoke the same emotion for me personally. See, he's kind of touching on what he's saying personally. Yeah. So it's like it's true, but like, sorry, I don't mean to cough all up like that. But like, you're right. Like, how much is a GT4? 110, 120?
No,
not even.
I mean, an RS is like 200K.
200K,
and like 150 for a non-RS.
And a GT3 RS 2 years old.
Well, if it's depreciated, it's like they don't really depreciate. They're around sticker, which is like 250. If it's the new one, it's 350. There is a significant price difference between a 3 RS like of the same generation and 2 RS. Like, it's almost double the money. Like, but I don't think it's. I think GT3 RS is a piece of shit too. So I don't even think that's like significantly better than a GT4. But I still think it looks better than a GT4. Well, I think it's a cooler looking car.
The Cayman also has the connotation of like boy racer.
Yeah, it's a younger.
It's such a boy racer car.
But again, this is the argument of we don't have to make something entry level anything other than its entry level. And then look, K. Fletch agrees, and K. Fletch has Cayman money. K. Fletch does not have super heavy, he doesn't have new GT3 RS money. So people who can relate to things and who can afford them typically will agree with people who just, shit on something more expensive than they typically can afford. So now Dr. DeMuro can afford a Corolla GT and it's
different
fine. Story. But he's also a simplistic guy who's lived his whole life not affording a Corolla GT, so he's been biased that way. And now he has some money, but look at his collection. He's not buying Bugs. He's not buying super epic.
He's buying the shit that he liked when he was young.
Exactly.
Which is
so
cool.
He's going through that phase. Now, if he stays rich in 10, 15 years, if he builds another business, because he didn't make that much money off his last one, but let's say he does something else huge, and like he makes some significant money, he might change his opinion and look back and be like, man, that was a fucking retarded podcast. Like, why did I say that? Like, that doesn't make sense.
And there's also, like, I like what you're going with that. There's also people that, like, try, like, he does it because he's a simplistic man, but then there's the people that try to hold true to, like, where they come from. Why?
Nobody gives a fuck.
What are
where
we
you
doing
come
here?
from. Yeah, you evolve. That's the point. You don't
I
have
am
to
from
remember
the
when you were
Bronx,
poor.
New York.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back there. You out of your goddamn mind?
Yeah, you always evolve and grow. But anyhow, guys, this has been it. We've went a little bit longer, but appreciate Rafa for showing up today
Thank you
and
for having
sharing
me
some
here,
of his
man.
wisdom on masculinity.
Loved the time.
Make sure you check out his podcast, Man of War. Where can they go? I know it's the Man of War podcast.
Yeah, Man of War podcast. Just look it up anywhere. Man of War with 2 R's on Instagram and manofwar.us on the internet, the
All right.
interwebs.
There you have it. So check out his podcast. I was on there. Lots of interesting conversations too. And otherwise...